Have you ever felt something shifting deep inside you? Something rearranging itself without your conscious permission. The great psychologist Carl Jung understood that the path toward wholeness, what he called the process of individuation, isn't just an intellectual exercise. It is a visceral transformation, something that happens in the depths of your body and soul. Every profound change in your spirit leaves an indelible mark upon your physical being. Why? Because the body is the first witness, the first battleground where the subtle energies of transformation begin to unfold, long before your rational mind can even name them. Today, we'll explore 5 unmistakable bodily signs that your soul is preparing to release its old burdens, to let go of expired chapters, and to step courageously into a new stage of your existence. These are not symptoms of illness. They are messages, whispers from a psyche in metamorphosis. They are sacred hints in the grand map of inner alchemy, a process Jung regarded as the most profound experience available to us. Closing a life chapter is, in essence, a symbolic death, a dying of what once was so that something new can be born. Jung described this as the necessary shedding of outdated layers of personality, much like a serpent releasing its old skin. When the soul lets go of what no longer serves, the body reacts. It does so through sensations that often confuse or frighten us, but they are brutally honest. They are the body's raw, unfiltered truth, expressing what the mind cannot yet comprehend. These physical manifestations aren't random. They follow an archetypal pattern that echoes across cultures and time. In-depth psychology. This passage is called a liminal experiency, state of being in between, standing at the threshold between who you were and who you are about to become. And in that sacred space, your body becomes the bridge, the living archive of your transformation. It carries not only the scars of the past, but also the promise of what is yet to bloom. The first and most common of these signs appears as a deep exhaustion, a fatigue that no amount of sleep seems to cure. This isn't the tiredness from physical labor or routine stress. It's the weariness born of an immense inner labor that your unconscious is performing on your behalf. Jung observed that the unconscious becomes most active when we're called to release old archetypes, old patterns of being that once gave us our identity but have now become too small for the soul we are becoming. This kind of tiredness feels different. It seeps into your bones, clouds your thoughts, and even colors your dreams. It's as if your entire energetic system is being recalibrated. Imagine the old wires that used to keep you running, being unplugged so new, brighter, more powerful connections can be installed. Your body is literally metabolizing the emotional debris of a life that was once your home. This fatigue arises because you are digesting ancient emotions, cutting energetic cords to people and places, and integrating memories that suddenly awaken within your DNA. Every single cell participates in this existential recycling process. Jung spoke of the transcendent function, a psychic force that unites the opposites within Usta, conscious and the unconscious, the light and the shadow. This function works tirelessly during times of transition, and it consumes an enormous amount of energy. Your body feels the cost of this psychic labor long before your conscious mind understands what's happening. This metabolic exhaustion often distorts your perception of time. Hours may feel like days, while days pass like fleeting moments. Your internal clock is reorganizing itself because you are stepping out of the mechanical, predictable rhythms of your old life. You're no longer living by the clock's time. You're living by the sacred, organic time of your own transformation. This fatigue is not your enemy. It is holy. It's the white flag your body raises, asking for peace in the middle of your inner war. Don't fight it. Don't label it laziness or weakness. Listen to it. Your body knows what it's doing. It's dismantling the old scaffolding of your identity, piece by piece, so the new architecture of your being can emerge. So when you feel that bone-deep exhaustion, remember there's something sacred is unfolding. You are not breaking down. You are breaking open. The second sign appears in the form of intense emotional fluctuations that seem to arise out of nowhere. A sudden burst of tears while washing dishes, an inexplicable irritation triggered by the smallest thing, or a wave of emptiness that strikes without warning. These waves move through you like a turbulent sea, unpredictable yet deeply meaningful. Jung understood that these oscillations emerge when the ego, the false self we crafted to navigate the world, begins to separate from its familiar identity. That mask, polished over years of conditioning, starts to crack, and with it, the emotional structures that sustained it begin to collapse. What you perceive as emotional chaos is, in truth, a profound process of liberation. Your soul is cleansing itself, conducting a deep purification of its emotional archives. And just as cleaning a wound burns before it heals, this process can be raw and disorienting. These fluctuations are echoes of disidentification, your psyche's way of breaking free from outdated emotional structures and roles. Each tear that falls carries away a fragment of an old identity, dissolving into the waters of renewal. Jung regarded these emotional storms not as failures, but as essential passages on the journey toward individuation. Yes, the process is painful. It feels like being torn apart from within, but only through that destruction can something real be born. The genuine self, unmasked and whole, can only arise when the artificial emotional scaffolding has been dismantled. These emotional waves often follow a mysterious rhythm, like breathing, expansion, and contraction. Days of extraordinary clarity are followed by hours of confusion. Moments of luminous hope are replaced by phases of deep desolation. This is not instability or madness. It is the natural rhythm of a soul undergoing transformation. Each wave has its own intelligence, arriving not at random, but in sync with your inner healing. Some waves bring forgotten traumas to the surface, asking you to look them in the eye. Others wash away obsolete beliefs. Each emotional surge carries its own medicine, even when it feels unbearable. Do not mistake this turbulence for weakness. It is proof of your psychic vitality. Only a courageous soul dares to navigate its own storm. You are braver than you think, because you have chosen to feel. Then comes the third sign, the transformation of your sleep patterns. Either you find yourself unable to rest, your mind restless and overactive through the night, or you sink into a heavy, almost protective slumber, as though your body seeks refuge from the intensity of your inner process. Jung described dreams as the theater of the soul, the stage upon which the dramas of the unconscious are performed. The night becomes your sacred operating room. While your conscious mind sleeps, your unconscious works tirelessly, bringing forth repressed memories, unprocessed emotions, and ancient archetypal images. Your body, however, bears the weight of this nocturnal labor. Altered sleep cycles reflect the profound activity of your inner world. As one cycle of life ends, forgotten symbols rise to the surface, ancestral patterns, childhood imprints, and mythic forces that demand to be witnessed. The soul uses the night as a field of healing, but your physical self endures the side effects of this deep transmutation. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the soul. If this resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the depths of our being. We'd love to have you in our community.